Alright guys, today we're working on a 2020 Ford Edge ST, and customer's complaint is 35 miles an hour and up. Feels like the torque converter is shuddering is what they said, so we're gonna go for a quick test drive, look at some data. There's no lights on the dash. I'm gonna check misfire data first, because the way he was explaining it to me, he says as he's accelerating, if he's nice to it, it doesn't do it. If he's half throttle or more, it does do it. That to me seems like it's going to be a misfire in my opinion. Alright, so 35 miles an hour and up is the customer's complaint, so let's get to 35 and see what it does. Roll this window up, it's not so noisy for you guys. Alright, so there's about 35 miles an hour, and he had mentioned that when he accelerates, so we'll just kind of give it a little bit. Like we're trying to get, oh, yep, I can already feel it. Yeah, so it kind of does feel like a little bit of a torque converter shudder, but there's definitely a misfire there. Vehicle's kind of stumbling as it's accelerating. I'm sure if we like kicked it down right now, it would stumble too. Yeah, it's hiccuping, twitching. Oh, there's the check engine light flashing. I did ask him if it ever did that, but maybe right where the steering wheel is, I could barely see it. But yeah, check engine light flashing, that's damage. Potential damage to a catalyst is why that happens, and that's typically caused by a misfire. So some vehicles will shut the injector off and it'll have a misfire until you shut the key off. So now we should have a code. Let's scan for codes. Maybe it had a code, I don't know. Let's see, I didn't scan yet, but we're gonna check. It's gotta have something in there if the light's flashing. Look at that. P0306, cylinder 6 misfire detected. There's also a misfire on cylinder 6 on first 1,000 revolutions. That could be a fuel injector. Sometimes the fuel injectors will leak into the cylinder bore and you'll have extra fuel in there that won't combust. So let's get it back to the shop, and what we're probably going to start with is just move the number 6 coil to another position, because I believe we put spark plugs in this like 20,000 miles ago. There's 136,000 miles on the car. I'd have to look at the history, but yeah, I think about 20K ago we put spark plugs in it. Typically turbocharged motors like this need spark plugs every 60,000 miles. I think that's what Ford recommends as well. So we'll get it back to the shop. We'll get the coil swapped and we'll retest drive it and see if that misfire follows a different cylinder. We may pull the plug out too and see if we see anything with the spark plug, any carbon tracking or anything like that. And we'll get this thing diagnosed. This is why it's important to get cars diagnosed, guys. Like, you know, I don't expect everybody in the world to know what a torque converter shudder feels like compared to a misfire, compared to a worn CV axle shaft or something like that that vibrates when you accelerate. You know, that's what professionals like us are for. We've experienced these things on multiple vehicles over multiple years, and we have just a feel of what these things are. Like, I could tell it was a misfire right away, not a torque converter shudder. I didn't even need data. You know, I'm sure if I looked at torque converter slip speed on the scan tool, it'd be perfect. Alright. So I might have to look up where number 6 is on this car. The hood wants to open. Here we go. Alright, looks like we got a screw we gotta take off. Couple 10 mil. Over here, some of my tools are gone on the Z06 I'm working on. Trying to work on anyway. We're gonna need an extension. Joe Biden moment. What did I walk over here for? Alright, let's get this engine cover off. Like one of these cheap foam ones. Well, at least they're light. Alright, so I'm gonna guess this is 6 because Ford typical is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That cylinder head appears to be further forward, but we're gonna confirm this before we do it. You are watching a master at work. Alright, so we're in. Paste it in. We'll type in number 1 cylinder. This is going to help us identify. Not just as I expected, front of the car, so 5 and 6. So we're going to swap these two coils, 6 and 5, and see if the misfire goes to number 5 now instead of number 6. And we'll retest drive it real quick. Looks like a little bit of work to get to this coil. Those are 8 mils, so I'll have to get those off. So a little lock release here on the coil. Hate these things, but I'll unplug them. Okay, let's grab an 8 mil. I always want to keep it simple, guys. Start with the simple stuff. You know, there's no point in chasing compression or injectors or anything like that. Start with the simple stuff. Ignition is usually the main cause for a misfire. Not always, but usually the main reason. So a simple free test, other than just some time here, is to just swap the coils around and reevaluate. That doesn't waste a lot of my time, doesn't waste a lot of time for the customer or their money. We're not throwing parts at it. I mean, yeah, sure, I could just get a coil and try that too, but what if I'm wrong? What if it's something with the spark plug? Which we may pull out too while we're here. These coils, they don't make this easy to get to. Alright, so there's a number 6 coil. I'm gonna etch a number 6 on here, just so we know where it came from. And we're gonna take 5 on that. And I'm gonna pull that plug real quick just to look, just make sure there's no carbon tracking or anything like that on it, since we already got the coil out. Yeah, it looks like it is too. Nope, 5/8. Alright. Just plug out. Just checking. Again, start with simple stuff. This is free. It doesn't cost the customer anything. You know, we're probably going to charge them half an hour, 7/10 or so, give or take, to diagnose this, roughly. And look at that. Good thing I pulled the plug out. That's carbon tracking right there, guys. So we're going to need a new spark plug and a new coil boot. We'll probably have to get a whole coil. So carbon tracking, what is this? This is basically the electricity jumping into the porcelain here and etching into it, so it's grounding out in the porcelain instead of jumping spark plug gap. Call that carbon etching, carbon tracking, and that's our problem. So all that black stuff you can see, that's electricity jumping into the porcelain causing an issue. You know, when we did the plugs last time, it wasn't doing that, but what'll happen is the boot gets worn, and you know, electricity is lazy. It finds the easiest path to ground, and apparently that is an easier gap to jump than down here. So we're gonna quote a coil boot and some labor, and put it back in, and we'll retest drive it. So I'm gonna work on the quote and stuff, and we'll bounce back to test driving the vehicle after we put a new spark plug and a new coil boot in it. Alright guys, we got our new spark plug, got our new coil. We're going to put these in. Yeah, that's what that plug should look like. Nice. Alright. Doing the Yaman music today. DJ Dexter. Was playing Baby Shark yesterday. No Baby Shark today? Oh, oops! I started something. All right, so this is why we marked our coil. Now we know we got number 5 there. We're gonna put number 5 back in the number 5 hole. That's why it's a good idea to mark those guys, just in case you step away, you get distracted, and you're like, "Oh shit, which coil was it?" Well, now we know. Hopefully I don't get copyrighted for the music here. can already hear it in the comments now. Dura crap. Well, I'll tell you what. I've had bad luck with OEM parts. I've had bad luck with aftermarket parts. Everything's got a warranty. We deal in volume with our local AutoZone. They give us the best price deal. So that's usually our go-to unless we're doing something OEM or something. So, and it worked out good for us. So any part can fail. That's why we warranty our parts, guys. 12 months, 12,000 miles. If your part fails that we put in, we replace it. No questions asked. It's kind of an industry standard thing, but still, it's good practice. Alright. Coils are bolted down. We're going to clip our wiring harness back in, these little clippy doos. Alright, that's junk. Pick that up later. Probably tomorrow. Alright, clip back in. That's good. Put our cover back on. Oh, and I put my wrench away. Silly goose. Alright, go for a test drive, clear the codes. Bob's your uncle. He's not my uncle. My uncle's actually Steve. But he's somebody's uncle. Alright, key on, engine off. We're going to clear the codes. Code's cleared. I just always like to double check, make sure they actually cleared. Yep, no codes. Okay, so we're gonna drive it. Odds are we're not gonna have any issues, but if we do, hopefully that check engine light will flash for us again, and see if it's a different cylinder. But number 6 cylinder got a new spark plug and a new ignition coil due to it carbon tracking like that. So just for reference, anybody that's wondering, with Diagnosis, this is like a $375 repair, I think, between all the parts and labor. So charge them an hour labor, half an hour, 7/10 for the diagnosis, give or take, and 3/4 for replacing the spark plug and the coil. I think it was like 1.9 to do all 6 coils. I just took that number, divided it by 6. That was our labor time. And we'll get this guy back on the road after this test drive, make sure everything's good. Alright, same thing. So we're going to get up to 35, just like we did before. Alright. So there's 35. And now we're just going to accelerate. Nice and smooth. No more hiccups. Now we're just going to boot it. Get on it all the way. Smooth as can be. Engine's running perfect. No misfires. We'll test it one more time. Just get a load on the engine. This being turbocharged usually doesn't take much. Yeah, mint. She's running smooth. Cool, guys. So that's gonna fix this one. I'm gonna get it back to the shop, invoice the customer out, get him back to work, and probably see ya on the next one.